So here's the biggest thing that I see a lot of people make mistakes with when they get put into side control. One, they let their guard get past. So that's the first mistake. The second mistake is that they use their wrist on the guy's neck, okay? And the weakest part of your arm is gonna be right here, all right? If I put my hand on George's neck, he can smash my wrist and then I can't frame and I can't get back to where I need to get to. So I wanna use right here, this part of my muscle, right? Like I'm gonna cut into his neck. So the biggest thing that you need to be aware of is that you don't let him pop this arm up and put you into the arm triangle, all right? So I'm gonna have my wrist right here. So now when George starts to shoulder pressure me, if you notice, he can't put the pressure on me with his shoulder anymore because he can't use his neck. If I do it down here, he can collapse me and he can do shoulder pressure, all right? So I want the bone right here, right? What that also does is it allows me to open George's neck, okay? And by opening that, it gives the pressure off of my chest so that I can start to move, all right? Now, the next one is this one, all right? I want it either grabbing his belt or I want it grabbing anywhere in here, right? But this elbow, which no one uses, flares the knee out, okay? So when I flare the knee out, that allows me right here to start to create space. Now, I don't have to gain as much space back as George has to gain, okay? So that allows this knee to come in, right? Now, here's the thing that I'm thinking about. This arm that was down here is gonna come up here so that I can get this leg out, all right? Everybody shrimps and they get stuck here and then they pull this arm back and frame. And then George just pushes this knee back in and all the work's lost, okay? So as soon as my knee comes to here, I'm pulling George's arm to me and then getting my guard back. So you just have to think, when you're framing like this post right here is to open his hip. And this frame can't be shallow, all right? It's gotta open, and I've gotta be able to walk away here, all right? Now, I'm either gonna re-guard, all right? Or I'm gonna pop my hips up into here, okay? Now, when I get here, the knees have to pinch and the elbow has to come back. So, we're here, right? We walk, we frame. I'm keeping this frame so that George's hips cannot come towards me and cover that space, all right? I drive the knee in, or I pop the hips up. The knees touch, pinching. The foot's hooking on the back of his shoulder. This is covering, and then I'm here.
It's fucked up, Chad.
So, now, those are kind of like two different escapes to give us one attack, right? And just think, if we come out here and we throw this and then George pulls his arm out, right? We're right back to where we need to and start fighting our guard. Okay, we just need to get that pressure off of our chest. So, two other escapes that I like to think about, right, is when I flare this up, right, this hand circles under, okay? Now that this hand circled under, my legs have to swing this way and then swing this way so that I come out his back, okay? Otherwise, if I'm gonna open, this arm right here is gonna swim under to the hip. Then my legs are gonna swing this way. I hold George's head the whole time so that he doesn't regain his posture. If I let go of this, George and I square up, all right? If I keep my head here, now I can start to set up my choke series, or I can just, basically control it so that he can't come under me and I can start coming right into his back.
Can you show that second one from a different angle?
Yeah.
The same one?
Just coming out the back ones?
Yeah,
Or?
we're just zooming this one through just so you can see it.
Okay, yeah.
Like from this angle, what
From
this
this
arm's
angle?
doing. Yeah.
All right, so our frames are good, right? In no-gi, this is a little bit tougher, so you gotta be really careful that he doesn't pop this elbow up and put you into that arm triangle. But you don't ever wanna frame on your wrist. You're gonna get crushed every time. I have to use my bone. I have to be here, right? So I open his neck. This arm swims under to this hip, all right? Now my legs go that way. My knee and my hand are touching. So then I'm gonna punch, and I'm holding his head right here, right? So that we can push the head through. We can start our different attack series. or we can just come out the side. So I'm here framing, all right? I'm gonna open the neck so we create the space. The hand's gonna circle under. Now, this one, I wanna think about sliding down towards George's leg. So I'm gonna be over here on this side, right? I'm gonna come down just enough that I'm gonna grab George's foot right here, okay? So now when I put this foot in, look, I'm gonna trap the foot right at the ankle, okay? So then this hand's gonna come in and grab George's knee, okay? So now when I'm ready, I pull George's knee towards me so that I can come here, okay? As soon as I come on top, this hand swims under and grabs George's pants.
That's badass. You do that one just one time.
That was good. So we're here. We're gonna open the neck, swim under. Now I wanna just slide my hips down right here. Pull, hook at his ankle, right? That way it pulls the knee into me, okay? So, two things to think about from here. Let's say George puts this wizard in, right? So now look, all I'm gonna do is clamp down here, right? I'm gonna keep this clamped and this foot clamped. Like I'm gonna leg lock him, right? This hand's gonna come under and it's gonna grab here as soon as I can. And then I'm gonna come up so that we get our side position.
Your smaller weight classes run with the bigger dudes in class, and they're like, man, I try these side control escapes, they don't work. I'm too small, the guy's too big. It's always like the main excuse, right?
Right, the frame, 100%, I promise you. If your frame is right, I will get out of most big guy side control. You know, of course, you put Marcus Buchecha or Andrew Wiltsey or George on top of me and it's not gonna happen. But,
Yeah.
but it's your frame. Everybody frames wrong, and when you frame wrong, you get crushed, right? I promise you, every time, okay, when I used to frame like this, it doesn't take any work for George to put shoulder pressure down on me and crush my hand. So crush, right? Like smash this arm down. Like it doesn't matter, like this sucks for me. I have no strength, okay? But now look, just right here, just right up on the shoulder, now do it. Everything you got just actually, right? It doesn't, see how it starts to move, right? There's the space that I need, right? Now that my knee and my elbow are together, that's the most important thing, all right? As long as my knee and elbow are together, this hand that was now on here pushes so that I get my feet back on George.
Cool. So that frame, having it here, that's the key takeaway,
Yeah,
right?
right here. The biggest thing is right here. Never here. Look, this bends, it's weak. There's a bunch of little bones in here, they have no strength. Somebody can't collapse your bone.
Okay.
Your neck's not gonna smash somebody's bone. So just the same thing with doing chokes or anything. If the choke's here, it's gonna be weak. The strength comes from your bone.
Okay.
So,
Perfect. Badass. Perfect, man.
thank you guys. Follow Daisy Fresh YouTube.
Thanks, Chad.
Do you have anything motivational to say to the people?
Don't be a bitch and train harder.
Respect.